Whenever a wounded animal is bleeding, it gives off a scent that it is in trouble. Well, for the San Francisco 49ers, they're starting to have trouble, and the Detroit Lions are smelling it, and they're getting ready to pounce. We're going to talk about it in this episode, folks, so don't you dare go anywhere.
What are we? What makes us what we are? And what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5 end zone touchdown Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, all Detroit Lions fans, and welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. So, folks, for today's episode, or at least the first episode of the day, we're going to be talking about how news that was just released yesterday has given a massive boost to the Detroit Lions Super Bowl aspirations. So, what exactly am I talking about here? Well, if you paid attention to the news of yesterday, at least around the NFL, you would have heard news about what is happening out in San Francisco. If you didn't hear what is going on, I'm going to let you know what it is going on, and then I'm going to give you my input on it. So, what's exactly going on here? Why exactly am I saying that the Detroit Lions Super Bowl aspirations, their Super Bowl dreams, just got a huge, massive, just monumental boost? The reason why I'm saying this is because yesterday it was reported that Trent Williams, the all-star left tackle for the San Francisco 49ers, he is now holding out from training camp because he wants to have a raise. He wants to get more money from the ball club. Now, why is this big news? It's big news for a couple of things. Number one, the San Francisco 49ers are already having a contract dispute. They're already having contract problems with another big player of theirs in Brandon Aiyuk. However, though, while Trent Williams is a holdout for the 49ers because he wants more money, Brandon Aiyuk is more of what is known at this point as a hold-in because Brandon Aiyuk, he wants out. He wants to be traded. He's already put in a formal request to be traded. The 49ers are saying, no, we want to continue to work on getting a contract resolved with you. So at this point, the 49ers are dealing with two big pieces of their offense that are not happy with their current contract situations. They either want a brand new contract, as is the case with Brandon Aiyuk, or they're wanting more money, as is the case with Trent Williams. Now, why is this big news? Why is this showing there's a problem with the San Francisco 49ers? Well, let's understand what is actually going on with the San Francisco 49ers here and put this all into context and how this relates to us as Detroit Lions fans and as in relation to the Detroit Lions organization. First and foremost, we have to understand, what is the 49ers cap situation? Well, if you go to Over the Cap or if you go to Spot Rack, pretty much what the 49ers cap situation is about $30.5 million or $31.5 million. The 49ers have a substantial amount of cap reserves right now. If I recall correctly, I think they've got the 6th most cap space in the NFL right now. So it would seem that since they have so much cap space, that this should be a formality about, hey, you know what, Trent Williams wants more money or Brandon Aiyuk wants to get a new contract. This shouldn't be that big of a deal, right? Wrong. Here's why this is a big deal. First and foremost, we have to take a look at the situation for what each one of those players is dealing with. Number one, Trent Williams, while he is an all-pro tackle, he's one of the best that's ever played the game. Nobody's going to dispute this. Let's take a look at what Trent Williams is already currently making from the San Francisco 49ers. Trent Williams has the number one cap space hit on the 49ers roster. There is no other player that has more cap hit than he does. He takes up $31.5 million cap dollars in terms of their cap space. That's number one on their roster. Now, if that weren't bad enough, Trent Williams is wanting more money. He's already the highest paid player. He's already the highest paid player on the team. But on top of that, Trent Williams is 36 years old, folks. Most offensive linemen don't play this late into their careers. So you already have a guy that's on the very tail end of his career, albeit he is still a great, great player. But he's wanting even more money even though he has the highest paid contract on the roster. That right there is telling me something. This guy is greedy as hell. Like, I get it. You're the best tackle on your team. You're one of the best tackles in the entirety of the NFL. I would put you at 1B to Penei Sewell's 1A. Simply because of the fact that Penei Sewell is young and he's got a long career ahead of him, while yours is in the dwindling twilight part of your career. But still, you're the highest paid player on your team, Trent Williams, and you are trying to price gouge your freaking team for even more money. So that's That's one problem of the Trent Williams situation. The other part of this situation that's bad is that Trent Williams' contract is up in 2 years. His contract ends in 2026. And yet he's wanting more money right now when he's only got 2 years left on his deal. And it's like, okay, you're the highest paid player on your roster. You make the most money out of anybody in terms of the cap space. And your contract's almost up and you're 36 years old. It's a bad situation all around because pretty much it's like, dude, why in the hell are you coming to us asking for more money when your contract's almost up, you're at the point in your career where you're at, and you're still the highest paid player? If I was the GM, I would be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? But then, like I said, that's only one problem the 49ers are dealing with. The other problem is Brandon Aiyuk. Now, as I just said, Brandon Aiyuk has put in a request for a trade. He wants the hell out of there. Now, Brandon Aiyuk does not make the same amount of money as Trent Williams. He makes about half of what Trent Williams makes. His cap hit is about $14.1 million. Plus, on top of that, Brandon Aiyuk is substantially younger to Trent Williams. He's 10 years younger than him. He's only 26. But Brandon Aiyuk still makes the 5th highest cap hit on the entire roster of the San Francisco 49ers. So, again, you're dealing with two individuals, while they are both very good at what they do, they are both huge pieces to the San Francisco 49ers offenses. They're pretty much saying this: I want more money for what I currently do. Now again, with the fact that they have $30+ million of cap space right now, like I said, you would think that wouldn't be a big problem. But it is. The reason why it's a big problem is because Brock Purdy. Now, Brock Purdy's not a problem in terms of the fact that he's wanting a contract right now, but he's going to soon need a new contract. Brock Purdy right now is only $1 million worth against the cap space. He's only 25 years old. You want to know where his cap hit ranks among the entire list of the team right now for the 49ers? It's ranked 56th. He is so far down on the freaking list that he doesn't even freaking, he's like a freaking little drop in the bucket in comparison. But the problem is that with all the other quarterbacks that have gotten paid this offseason, such as our Jared Goff, such as Trevor Lawrence, such as Baker Mayfield, such as all these other guys that have been getting paid over the last year or two, when Brock Purdy's time comes to get paid, it's going to be a massive contract. It's going to easily be in the $50 to $55 million per year. And if things keep going the way they are going, such as with Jordan Love, who's going to most likely become the next highest paid quarterback in the league, and then after that's going to be Tua Tagovailoa, by the time Brock Purdy's contract comes up, it would not at all surprise me if he's going to be getting somewhere in the $60 million range, because Dak Prescott's also wanting that. There are 3 quarterbacks that are already wanting money like that. Brock Purdy's not even up until the year after next. So that's a huge amount of cap space that the 49ers are already in their head saying, we have to reserve that for when Brock Purdy's contract comes up, because it's going to be a monumental amount of cap space. But if that weren't bad enough, by the time that comes up, oh, this is where it gets even worse. The very next year, after Brock Purdy's contract is signed and taken care of, Deebo Samuel needs to get signed to a new contract because his is up in 2026. And if that weren't bad enough, George Kittle's contract is up in 2026. I don't know too much about cap space. I'm not a big mathematician here, but I can tell you this right now. When you got 2 guys that are being greedy as hell and they're wanting more money right now, you have a quarterback that's going to be getting a massive contract the year after this one, and then 2 years after that, oh, that's right, Trent Williams' contract is going to be up, Deebo Samuel's contract is going to be up, and George Kittle's contract is going to be up. And oh, by the way, Trent Williams' cap space is number 1 on the team. Deebo Samuel's cap space right now is number 2 on the team. George Kittle's cap space is number 7 on the team. all these guys that are going to need to be paid or are going to need to have something done in the next year or two, they are going to take up so much cap space that the 49ers right now, I guarantee you this, they are crapping they're crapping both pant legs, because it's like, dude, we have all these guys that we're paying so much money right now. They're going to need to be paid, and we have a quarterback that we have to pay, and we don't know how we're going to make all this work. When you've got all four of these guys in Williams, Ayuk, Samuel, and Kittle that are going to need money like right now or very shortly in the future, and you have a quarterback that you're going to have to pay what is being paid plus substantially more by the time his contract is up, yeah, it is a huge problem. That's why I'm trying to say there is blood in the water, and the Lions are able to understand what is about to happen here. Because let's understand something. The Lions right now do not have the problems that the 49ers have. Think about it. We have never once heard, ever since Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have become the head honchos, have become the organizational management team for the freaking Detroit Lions, anybody saying, oh, I want more money. I deserve more money. I'm going to hold out. That's never once happened with the Detroit Lions under Campbell or Holmes. And it is a beautiful thing to have, because it means, hey, we have guys that understand that it's not about them. It's about the team. When you have guys like Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk pulling the damn stunts that they're pulling, they're not about team. They're about themselves. They're all in it for themselves. They want to get more money because they're greedy. Think about what happened this offseason with the Detroit Lions. We had three guys that got paid this offseason: Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jared Goff. Never once did I ever hear anything come out of either of those guys' mouths that said, oh yeah, I feel that I am entitled to get more money. I feel that I deserve to get this money. They're all like, I'm grateful that I got this money. I'm grateful that I got paid. What I'm hearing out of guys in the San Francisco area is that, oh, I deserve more money. I'm entitled to more money. I'm sorry, you're already getting paid more money than the majority of Americans in this country for playing a sport. And you think you're worth more than that. I'm sorry, that's where I start losing my you-know-what. I start losing my cool. Because it's like, dude, you're already getting paid so much money, and you're like, I want even more. No. That's not how this works. Brock Purdy could have an argument to say he deserves more because of how little he's making in comparison to the rest of the people on his own roster, let alone to the rest of the guys that are in the league because of what he's been able to do over the last couple of years. But the point of the matter is that when you take a look at what's happening with the 49ers, they have got all these guys that need to get paid, and they don't have the money right now to figure out how to do it. And plus, on top of that, here's where it gets even really bad. These are just guys that are on their own rosters that they have to take care of. That's not including when the free agency hits for freaking, 2024, 2025, 2026, when all that stuff starts coming in. Because like, oh, not only do you have to deal with the guys that are already on your roster that you have to keep in town, but then you have to go out and you have to try and find other guys to bring in to resupplement the roster. So you have to deal with that as well. Oh, and then there's also the draft where you have to set aside about 10 to 12, maybe $15 million worth of cap space just for your draft picks. It's not a pretty picture for the 49ers, folks. The 49ers are literally running out of money. And the reason why they're running out of money is because they have people that want even more money when they're already being paid substantially for what they're doing. That's why I'm saying for the Lions, this is great news. Because let's think about it just from the here and now perspective. Brandon Ayuk says he wants out. So unless the 49ers give him a big contract, he's not coming back. Trent Williams is holding out, and he is saying he's not coming back until he gets a raise. Just imagine what the frickin' 49ers offense is going to be like if those two guys hold out the entire time throughout camp, they don't show up, they're not going to play until they get paid, which the 49ers would be foolish if they weren't to get one of them. And at this point, I don't know which one they're going to get, but at this point, I would hope they would try to get Trent Williams, because if they lose their blindside tackle for frickin' Brock Purdy, oh, that's going to be a bad situation. You can survive the loss of a receiver a lot better than you can survive a loss of an all-pro left tackle. But anyway, my point is this. If both of those guys do not show up throughout the entirety of training camp and they don't show up for the start of the season, that is going to be a massive blow for the 49ers. The Lions are already considered the second best team in the NFC, and they were this damn close to beating the 49ers last year at full strength. If they have those two guys both missing, Yeah, that's going to be a problem. That right there means that the Lions now have a huge opportunity. They have a huge opening to be able to take the Super Bowl this year. Not only get to the Super Bowl, but to actually win the Super Bowl. Again, you talk to any Lions player right now that's in camp. Their only goal, their only aspiration is not only to get to a Super Bowl, but it's to win a Super Bowl. It's what everybody's talking about. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aiden Hutchinson. That's all they're thinking about is Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. And when you have the 49ers, who are the one team that is primarily in your way from keeping you going to the Super Bowl, and two of their biggest players are right now saying, I want more money, I'm being greedy, I'm going to cause more problems for the team, I'm telling you this right now, the Lions players, they're like, oh, please keep holding out. Please keep causing your team more problems, because all it's going to do is it's going to make our situation even better. Because I'm telling you this right now, the 49ers, even without Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk, they're still a damn good team. They're still a very, very formidable team. But what I'm trying to get across is this. For the Lions, this is news that is really going to help them out. Now, I'm telling you this. I do not expect that either of this is going to matter by the time we play the 49ers at the end of the season. I would be highly, highly surprised if Trent Williams is not playing for the 49ers by the end of the season. In fact, I would be highly surprised if Trent Williams in this whole contract dispute doesn't get taken care of before the end of training camp. But my whole point of the matter is this. What this is really showing is there are cracks, there are fissures in the 49ers freaking locker room. It's showing that there are players that are more focused on themselves rather than on the team. Whereas when you take a look at the Lions, all they're focusing on is team, team, team. We, not I, we are focused on going to a Super Bowl. That is all they're focused on. It's not about themselves, it's about the team's aspirations to get to a Super Bowl. And that right there shows me that the Lions are in a better position not only to get to a Super Bowl, but to win a Super Bowl. Because the 49ers right now, they have guys that are more focused on their freaking bottom line and they're more focused on their paycheck than they are on getting back to a Super Bowl. That's the whole point with this episode. But anyway, folks, I decided I would talk about this because when I heard this yesterday, I was like, oh, goody. This is a great conversation piece, especially as we're going into training camp. But I'm going to release probably an episode later for this afternoon once we get some news about what's happening in training camp, so that way we can talk about that as well. But I figured I would release this for the early part of the day and then talk about training camp for the second part of the day. But having said all that, I'm going to end the episode here and say thank you all for watching in another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode that I got coming out later today and any other content that I've released in the past. Also encourage y'all please to do this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, or you just subscribed, you not had a chance to do so, again, highly encourage y'all to subscribe. But I also encourage y'all to please make sure you hit that bell notification icon so that way you guys never miss any more content I push out. I also encourage y'all please to share this content with your Lions friends and family members. Share it here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you can with everybody and anybody that you can. The more we can share it, the greater the channel has a spread, the greater the channel has a reach, and the greater we have a better ability to bring people into the channel. I hope you all enjoyed the content. I hope you all are having a great day. I hope you all got something in your life that makes you happy, makes you smile. Also hope you enjoyed the content. And with that being said, to everybody, God bless. And until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.